Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, this is Roxy Ayers with She Rox It. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to take you guys on a little trip in my brain the last couple of days. I would say the last few weeks. And it's not going to make sense until it does, so just bear with me. So I want to tell you about a little Chihuahua named Peanut, who has been the bane of my existence ever since my mother-in-law moved in, because he's noisy and he pees on anything that's plastic, and he's a big old pain in my butt. And then she asked me to dog sit for a week, and I fell in love with this little turd. But then, just recently, he got hurt by a door closing on him, and it was a crazy situation, like a freak accident kind of thing. And he's so tiny because he's a Chihuahua and he's itty bitty, and it totally messed him up. I'm telling you, to the point of him dragging his legs behind him. And I mean, when you see this little twerp, normally he's bouncing off the walls, he's smelling everything, checking everything out, climbing up on the couch, then climbing up on the back of the couch to bark out the window. And he's just a huge pain in the butt because he doesn't stop making noise. But now he's a quiet, sicky, broken dog. And me and my mother-in-law decided we were going to spend a couple days praying over this dog, just putting our hands on him and praying. And we prayed and we cried and we cried and we prayed, because we were honestly just overwhelmed by the loss, because we missed his craziness, we missed his noisiness, because he wasn't doing any of that. He did this weird like panting thing because he was in pain, and kind of like a shaky craziness. And we took him to the vet, of course, and they were able to prescribe some stuff to help him with his pain and inflammation, which was a helpful thing. But he was still just so fried out. And so this happened, and we were just kind of in this crazy bubble of just prayer and crying and really believing that God was going to heal him, because God had to, because my mother-in-law wouldn't have survived another day if this dog died, because she just lost her husband. I mean, a few months ago, and to lose her little baby dog, it would just be too much. And we were just hoping that God would reach down and give that little puppy all the help that he needed. And we went to find out that how much, well, they basically said if he starts dragging his legs, and this is what happened when we went to the vet, where he wasn't dragging his legs at that point, but they said if he is, then you need to get him into little doggy neurologist, or make sure he gets an MRI. And so we asked around on how much it was. And they're like, no, you can get an MRI, it's fine. But it is $2,000, sometimes three. And then, not to mention the surgery that would have to happen with the correction of his spine. And we were just at a loss, and we're spending 2 days just praying our brains out, doing what we can to hopefully connect God to this little turd. And would you believe that he started getting more and more improved almost immediately? And after 2 days, he was all over the place. Granted, he was a little wobbly, and I think he was still trying to get his sea legs and then his land legs, because he was just, kind of just walking in circles and making crazy noises. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So honestly, I believe wholeheartedly that God healed this little monster. And we were crying a bunch after, seeing how well he was doing every day and just doing so good, because they said they did an x-ray and they said that he already had really large gaps between vertebrae, and it was probably only a matter of time, but this just expedited the situation. So I don't know, it was just wild. But God moved on this little tiny creature, and I was so happy. But then deep down, I was so jealous, because I think about all the times people have laid hands on me and prayed, or had just wished for positive energy for me to be cured of MS. And I've talked about this before, that I've done quite a few little trials and things in hopes that it'll be the magical cure for this disease, because it's a family disease with me. My mom and my aunt passed away from MS, or complications of MS. And my little sister has MS. It's just bananas. And really, I do a lot of it for me, but I do it for my niece and nephew. If I can get one step closer to a cure for this disease, it means they wouldn't have to suffer the way that I have, or the way that my mother did, or my aunt. And so I was thinking, and I said, God, why not? Why wasn't I healed? Like this tiny little munchkin, why wasn't I given the same consideration? And you know what? MS is a selfish disease, because you worry about yourself all day trying to figure out how you're going to get up and go and be the person you need to be, or if you're going to roll over and just sleep in for 2 weeks because you just can't handle the day or handle the outside world. And I started thinking about it, and I've said this before on other shows, that I really truly didn't love life, and I didn't value it as much as I do now. Just the little perks, the little things that you can do, and the different ways you can just make things happen. And I don't know, I think my favorite, though, bar none, is that even though I can't do the stuff that other people can do, I am a stranger magnet. And it's weird, because, like, seriously, people will come up, and I've said this in other recordings, but people just are gravitate towards me because they see the walker, and they see me, my younger face, because no, I'm not a senior citizen, and yeah, I'm rolling around with a walker, and I'm looking pretty crusty sometimes, and they're just trying to figure out what happened. They say, did you get in a car accident? Did you da 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 da? And then I have to go into the long-winded story about multiple sclerosis and how it works, and have them lean in closely so they can see my crazy eyes, so they understand that nodding yes or no in a conversation does not help me. I'm going to need an audible response. But the truth of all of it is is that it's kind of like a thing where I wouldn't have been able to reach as many people as I have. I wouldn't have been able to really have a value beyond understanding. Like doing these shows, every week, this is a big thing, but even just in interacting with people with MS or any other kind of conditions that they really struggle with, if I can give them a little light at the end of the tunnel or a little bit of perspective, because a lot of times people, their lives are awful and they're certain it is, and then they run into some busted lady like me, and then they go, okay, well, could be worse. And you know what's so crazy is I run into people like that too myself, because I feel like my life is crusty sometimes, and then I run into somebody who can't speak or somebody who can't walk and or articulate, like they have aphasia, and I can't even imagine. I know there are wonderful people who have some of those issues, and they're still thriving and they're still doing very well. But I feel like if I couldn't talk, I don't know what I'd do. I'd figure out a way to friggin' cuss people out some other kind of way. But no, I did not get healed. Why did God choose to heal this tiny little crazy dog, but didn't choose to heal me? Because really none of it is about me. I mean, it is when I wake up every day and I'm trying to figure out what my body's up to, but I think it's about the people that I can encourage or give a little support to, and genuinely give somebody some insight on what life could be, even though they are not feeling well, or even though they're sicky from something, or even some people that are just stressed out about bills and whatever else. And I'm not the healed little Chihuahua, but I am the MS victim, but then also MS survivor. And I don't think if I didn't have this uniform on, I don't think I would have helped anybody, as not numbers as close as what I've been dealing with now. I mean, I encounter some people that really, really just need somebody to reach out and need somebody to listen, or need somebody to give them a different direction of thought. So no, I am not healed, but I'm fighting in a really cool way. And after I got over myself for a minute, I'm telling you, it was like a fraction of a thought. Why him? Why not me? But that little dog was mom's support, was mom's safety net. She was at home when she had that dog. So like now I'm at home with the way that I can communicate with people and reach out to them. And I don't know. It's not the same story, because God is so big. Duh, if he wants to fix a Chihuahua, he's gonna. If he wants to fix me, he's gonna. But I have to believe there's an even bigger reason that he doesn't. Who can I support today? Who could I listen to today? Who could I give a little perspective to today? I would not have had those tools. Also, I didn't love life like I do now. I have an attitude of gratitude beyond measure because of this disease. And I'm not saying I want to be sick. I'm saying I'm supposed to be where I'm at right now. Even though it's not exactly how I planned, or even exactly what I would have chosen. But I can do this. And I'm not supposed to be healed. I'm not supposed to be without the walker. I'm not supposed to be without the crazy, surly personality that came from from transitioning from a walking person to a walker person. It's without words sometimes. Do we have to? Do we have to make everything about us? And it's hard not to. Like I said, MS is a selfish disease. What am I going to do today? How do I get here? What should I eat? Who can I get to help me? I'm not feeling very good. I need to put my shoes on. Oh, I wonder if I can get help from somebody to put my shoes on. It is a huge, chaotic disease. But like I've said before, I am genuinely uniquely qualified. I know what I don't want to do, but I also didn't know what I was capable of. I didn't know, I didn't have that extra push until the MS showed up. I just kind of floated through life in kind of a crazy way, but I was given purpose. And yeah, I'm taking ownership of this disease. And I'm not looking at it like it's a thorn in my side. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to grow and change all the time, just that much more. But anyways, we're going to have these moments. We're going to have these moments when the world just seems unfair and it just doesn't seem like anything is working out in our favor. Maybe you didn't, you got a ticket in the same day that you had a weird body situation from an exacerbation, and then by the time you get to where you're going, it turns out that you weren't even supposed to go. Life is full of chaotic different paths, and I'm so glad that little Chihuahua is bouncing back with a vengeance, because there are so many lives floating on that little dog. My mother-in-law, me and my husband, because of my mother-in-law, and making sure we're all a part of the same team. And it's exhausting sometimes, I'm not going to lie, to keep a smile on my face and to remember that God's plan is where I'm at. This is what I'm dealing with. And I don't have the right to decide different. I just have to roll with it, because that's what God's got going on. And no, I'm not some bouncing little Chihuahua dealing with stuff that's beyond. I can't even believe it. If I could have videotaped it, you wouldn't have believed it. He was dragging his hindquarters around like he was just so broken. And he couldn't sit, and he couldn't stand, and everything was so horrible. But I think God blessed us with a little extra life in that little monkey. And no, I'm not meaning to begrudge this cute little Chihuahua, but what I am doing is I'm giving myself a little perspective in ways. But then I know that this disease was supposed to be a part of my life, because I have touched more people and embraced more people because of this disease. And I never would have. I would have probably been a totally different person. So I'm not mad about it. I'm pretty glad about it. But everybody has something comparable to, their little Chihuahua that they love till the end of the world and back, or just something in their life that is their cornerstone. And I don't know. I think if you use your words and you use them positive, and you remember to pray for yourself and pray for the people around you and ask for blessings, but then also be sure to give them out. But I don't know why I'm not getting healed specifically, but I know that I am a better person because I got diagnosed with this disease. And I know it's not always that way with people, but there's no choice. I I have to get up and put my pants on one leg at a time. And it's funny, I always say that, but then it's more like I'm lifting one leg in to get into the pant leg, and then making sure I'm using my other leg to put into the other side and trying not to fall out of my pants. And it's not as fancy as it is for some people. One leg at a time is a freaking job. But I'm alive. And I'm blessed. And God is good. And just start looking at things a little differently. No, you didn't get healed like this other person. You didn't have a big, beautiful life like some of these other people. No, but you are just the person God meant you to be. But I battle with not being a healthier person pretty frequently because I want to be. I want to be a better version of myself. I want to be a healthier version of myself. But that's not what this path is about. I think my path exists to give people perspective, but then also give people encouragement from a really unlikely looking person. But anyways, I think that everybody's got their hurdles and what they're going to do and how they're going to get through their stuff, and it's your job to make the path. It's your job to make the choices you're going to make. But the important thing is you realize that you're really not in control of most of it. We can decide what we're going to eat for breakfast, and we're going to decide all these different things from day in and day out, but then we're just blessed because God wills us to live. I don't know. I think a lot of people sit around spending time worrying about what they're not getting. FOMO, fear of missing out. But if you can find your highlight, if you can fill your heart with joy and kindness and just exude it, and people are going to want what you have. People are going to want to be around you, going to want to do what they can to be of service to you. And that's not why we do it. We're not looking to have a whole bunch of servants. But, I don't know. Maybe I would. I'd kind of dig it. If I had somebody I could just snap and, they'd take care of business. But no, it's a time where you can make a decision on how you're going to handle what you've been dealt. There are no words for it. It's hard. You have to get through all those moments and all those feelings. And it's a big old, circle. And nothing works out just as you plan. So I think the best thing you can do is you can focus on doing some different nighttime meditation things. If you go on YouTube, and I say this just to close it out, because if you don't have your mind right, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. And if you're sitting around waiting for, a crazy miracle all the time, you're not always going to get the answers you want back. And it's not wrong. God's plan is perfect, but, it's about doing the things that you can do while you can. But then also, I was thinking that it's kind of I don't know. How do you explain this to people if they haven't ever lived it or done it? But nonetheless, do me a solid. Go on YouTube before you go to bed and put on a guided meditation or something like that has nothing but positive little interactions, so your brain can be in a really fresh spot when you wake up in the morning. And then you want to give yourself some encouragement when you wake up. You want to give yourself a little momentum for the day by saying, you know what, you were good. You are doing really well, and you're going to be really great today. It's going to be the best opportunity possible. to be a good representative of other MSers or your own MS walk. And it's kind of a really strange hurdle we go through, because it's a funny, we go through these hills and these valleys and these ups and these downs and these seasons of wellness and seasons of sickness. And we're all praying that we're going to get the little Chihuahua healing. But God's plan is not always the same as our own. And I feel like I spent a lot of time kind of ranting and talking about stuff like this, but I think overall, the main point is that we have an opportunity to see the blessings in something that people would consider a curse. And it's not everybody's built to deal with it. And maybe those are the people that don't have the condition. But we need to refuse rolling over and dying. We need to refuse being prisoners in our own bodies. We need to get up every day like we're blessed just to be alive that day. Not waiting for God to, pull out a magic wand and heal your butt like the Chihuahua magic. But don't forget to bless people and accept blessings. But make sure to have an attitude of gratitude and the possibilities that things could be okay. And people are amazing if you let them be. But really, overall, I'm doing the best I can. And it is your job to do the best you can. Reach out to whoever you can and be a support system if you have anything to give. It could be listening, it could be talking about something, or just giving people some positive information. And it won't set you back. It gives you more networking, it gives you more opportunities. And like I said, we can all wait around for our Chihuahua healing, or we can fight it until the end and thank God every day for the air in our lungs. Because we're able to breathe, we're able to live. And we don't walk pretty, but we're able to do that too. Or if you have a wheelchair, you probably have a really snazzy one that's like a cool color and you can run over people's toes if you want. But there's always a reason for the season. It's your job to find it. So I hope you guys tune in next time. And I really just want to give people a little support as best I can. So hear me out. Please share if you're interested in what I'm saying and you think somebody else might be. But don't forget to tune in the next time I do my show. And thank you, everybody. And oh, by the way, Christmas season is horrifying. And I'll be doing another show kind of talking some all the stresses and wildness of that. But anyways, okay, look for your Chihuahua healing. But don't bet on it. Just roll with it. Pun intended. Okay, bye guys.